Has anyone used hypnotherapy to put someone into a flow state so they can work better and more effectively and think better? Or is it just used to solve problems and help people overcome difficulties instead of performance?
I think a lot of people use hypnosis. They might use like hypnotic music to get themselves into a flow state, as you might call it. We might also call it an alpha state, which is just a light state of trance. You can actually use music to do that. Certain kinds like hemi-sync music will do that in the background. I wouldn't say that I need to hypnotize someone for that. I have these little meditations that kind of bring someone to a light state of trance, but I wouldn't say you need to actually, count down the stairs and do the whole ritual in order to get them into that sort of relaxed alpha state, that flow state, as you're describing it. Most of the people come in because they want to solve a problem, but you can't actually just use that same induction just to get into a really relaxed place where you can focus, if that makes sense.
I mean, can someone focus in a hypnotic state, or they're relaxed, but they really have to be guided to do stuff? Like they don't really have active agency. Like maybe, I'm sure they have passive agency, but maybe not active.
I think what you're kind of describing is the same state. So hypnosis, you can go into different levels. It's almost like an elevator. If we're going to go to the top floor, we're going to be able to talk and think, answer questions. If you're going to go to like the 10th floor, you're not going to be able to answer questions out loud. You're going to be really dreamy. So you can get into that sort of first level pretty easily, where you can do this with your eyes open and kind of get into that mild state of trance. Actually, people get that way when they watch commercials on TV sometimes, especially the things with the blinky, flashy stuff in it. You'll get into that sort of very just mildly relaxed place. That is the hypnotic state. And some people would call it the flow state. People will call it the alpha state, but it's just a really light state where you're able to focus really intently. Also, for most people, that's kind of hard to stay in that place for a really long time. So you're not going to be able to, some people, I always say software engineers can do it for hours at a time, but most people can't do it for more than like 45 minutes. That's why people, go in, work on something and then take a break. Does that make sense?
Yeah, well, I've heard of like Pomodoros, someone can only focus intently for a period of time, like a machine that goes for hours and hours and hours. So again, do most hypnotherapists, and do you do this for performance sake or more to help with underlying problems someone has, addictions, negative thinking, etc.?
It's really both. Like working with right now I'm working with a lawyer. He's wants to get more comfortable getting more things done quickly. So we go into the relaxed state, we go into the hypnotic state, and just imagine him dropping in with a couple of triggers, like turning on certain music causes him to instantly get relaxed. That's part of his hypnotic process. That's part of the thing I created. And so when he gets into that state of mind, he's able to get twice as much done in a shorter length of time. But the hypnotic meditation that we made caused him to do that more automatically because he's got some trigger objects, actually music for him that puts him right in that focus state. And also too, a lot of hypnotherapists, because we are in the habits of human nature business, we do kind of tend to know a lot about how people operate. So I know from experience, having done this for a long time, that you're not going to try and do 4 hours of working on a brief. You're going to want to do 45 minutes, go watch something stupid on TV, come back to another 45 minutes. And so tips and tools and things like that can be another thing that hypnotherapists will offer for a period of time. But a lot of times I do suggest like hemi-sync music if you're just trying to get into a state of mind where you can focus really intently and study, where you can focus really intently to get that thing done that you need to get done. But also part of that is the habit of not having a lot of distractions on at the same time. You don't want to be watching, Mad Men in the background.